The King has gone lactose insane. Introducing the new Cheese Lover King at Burger King. A cheese-covered double bacon Whopper with a side of creamy cheese sauce to dunk in. The Cheese Lover King is here for a limited time. Only at Burger King.
Studio time now by Burger King is 7:29.
There's nothing more important than your health, and seeking expert healthcare with physicians you can trust is what you deserve. UHealth, the University of Miami health system, offers peace of mind to you and your family with a first-class experience. Our patient coordinators assist with everything you need before, during, and after your stay with us. As South Florida's only academic-based health system, UHealth offers cutting-edge treatment, compassionate care, and life-changing results just a flight away. Learn more at umiamihealth.org/international.
For the Record, proudly brought to you by
Brand Source Home Gallery, inspiring luxury. Doctor's Hospital, peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctor's Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066. Kirk Market, experience a world of choice. JN Money, from abroad to Yad. And Cineco, keeping Cayman covered.
We ask our listeners and viewers to avoid any statements or comments which are abusive, derogatory, malicious, or defamatory. Do not use indecent language or make any statement that is false or misleading. Call 1-800-534-8255, 949-6990, 949-8037, or WhatsApp us on 925-3261.
Live from Radio Cayman Studio.
This is For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Hear from your government officials, independents, and the opposition on issues that matter to you.
For the Record.
Engage in an open dialogue between residents and lawmakers.
With Orrett Connor.
Informative, impartial, insightful. This is For the Record. And now, your host, Orrett.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, O land of soft, fresh breezes and verdant trees so fair. Today is Wednesday, the first day of July 2026, right here in the beautiful Cayman Islands. Hoping we trust that everyone had a restful, peaceful, enjoyable evening. Those of you who are on our roads, whether you're a pedestrian, a cyclist, or if you're operating any type of motorized vehicle, we urge you to please, please, please be extremely cautious. Ensure that you observe the rules of the road, because the life you save may just be your own. For those of you who are celebrating a birthday today, or if you celebrated one over the past few days, we want to wish you a happy birthday or a happy belated birthday, whichever is applicable, and to remind you that the For the Record birthday shout-outs brought to you by Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola, available across the Cayman Islands. You should accept no substitutes. From generation to generation, Coca-Cola still a Cayman classic. Those of you who have lost loved ones, again, we want to extend our sincere condolences to you. We hope and we trust that your faith will help to carry you through these extremely challenging times, and that the memories of your loved ones will be a blessing. Those of you who are ill and are either at home or at a medical facility here in the Cayman Islands or overseas, we want to wish you a speedy recovery as well. And we take this opportunity again this morning to give a big shout out to our colleague here at Radio Cayman, none other than Mr. Joel Wilson. So before we look at the birthday shout outs, 1st of July, we're in the month of July already, folks. If you haven't started your Christmas shopping yet, or saving up to, a little bit of money on the side for Christmas gifts, you may want to start now, because the last 5 months of the year, they're going to go very quickly as well. And before you know it, they will be here. So all of those things that you haven't done yet that need to be concluded before the end of the year, you may want to ensure that you jump on the bandwagon and get started now as well. And at the same time, you may want to take advantage of the duty-free allowance, the new duty-free allowance that also takes place. It'll rise to $800 CI for those returning residents from the 1st of July 2026, with a temporary increase to $1,000 during July, August, and December 2026 as well. And if you have an interest in this and want to see what the Chamber of Commerce is saying about the impact it may possibly have on local residents, you can go onto the Chamber's website, and there's an article in there what the new duty-free allowance means for residents, businesses, and communities as well. So let's look at the birthday shout-outs. Yesterday, Mr. Dennis Connor celebrated his birthday. I think we gave him about a shout-out several days before his birthday. Again, we want to wish him a happy belated birthday as well. Also, Mr. Martino Watson celebrated a birthday yesterday, and that's the brother of none other than the beautiful radio voice of the Cayman Islands, Miss Susan Watson. That's Martino Watson. Wilma Ebanks also celebrated a birthday yesterday, yes. Ali Watson celebrating a birthday today. Ali Watson celebrating a birthday today, as well as Janelle Scott celebrating a birthday tomorrow. Folks, if you know someone who's celebrating a birthday or any other momentous occasion, please let us know right here on For the Record, and we will give them a birthday shout-out. And here we have another one. We're being asked to send birthday greetings to June Darlene Minzet. She celebrated her birthday yesterday. Greetings are coming from the Minzet and Solomon family from Mans Road in Dallas, Texas. Dallas, Cayman, that would be Dallas. And I think on a previous show I may have spoken about the significance of the name that Bordentown was given at one point in time, named Dallas. So, Miss June Darlene Minzet, she celebrated her birthday yesterday. Big shout out coming from the Minzet and the Solomon family over there in Mans Road in Bordentown, Dallas. Okay. So, folks, I want to thank you for allowing Radio Cayman and, by extension, For the Record, into your homes, into your vehicles, as you traverse the busy and sometimes dangerous roads of the Cayman Islands. As you know, For the Record is a show produced by the staff and management of Radio Cayman, and it is geared towards keeping you abreast of issues as they arise and play out on the local, regional, and international scene. I'm your host, Orrett Connor, and you're welcome to join me every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 7:30 a.m. until 10 a.m. During that period, our phone lines are open. This morning, we're going to have a different schedule again. We're going to have guests in the studio from about 7:45 after we take our first commercial break. We're going to have guests in the studio. They are going to be our young parliamentarians who will be participating in the youth debate taking place on Thursday. That is tomorrow. So they will be in the studio with us at 7:45. One of those young parliamentarians may be a family member of yours, so you may want to listen in and hear them talk about the debate as well, or you may be a schoolmate or something. So you want to ensure that you are listening in and render support to them on For the Record, but not only on For the Record, but tomorrow during their debate as well. With that, we do have a caller. We're going to grab that caller quickly before we go to our commercial break. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Yes, good morning, OC.
Hey, good morning. Morning.
Yeah, I had to get on really quick before Aldine sent in all those different requests.
I haven't heard from her yet.
Yeah. Beat her to it. OC, quickly, this little call this morning. Yesterday, during our walk on the beach, I decided to go all the way up to the Radisson, the Marriott. They're doing this project. They're putting some, boy, OC, I hope the finished product is better than what. Look now, I see some big old boulders and all that all over the beach up there, and it all blocked off. What a terrible, ugly sight, OC, for the tourists to come here and look at. Really ridiculous. And during OC, the time I was there looking at it, there was a who I know is a Jamaican national, been here about 35 years. His name is O'Neill. Make reference to Jeff Webb, Mr. Frank Conley Easton, Ann Crutchman, her husband, her brother, Mark Farlin, Mr. Parson, everybody who helped them along the way.
Okay.
As a Caymanian, and talk about all the Cayman foods, and he even used to eat at the restaurant they used to provide for the prisoners, and real OC Caymanian, I would say. Come here and integrated and really good guy. But OC, when you were talking about the food, I say, yeah, I mentioned, OC talks about the Cayman food on the, he say, OC? I say, yeah. I say, you the Lord Graham that calls in on the radio? I say, yeah. I mean, I know you a long time around football, but he say, I'm thinking that this Lord Graham that calls in, listening to you in OC, he's like a big 6 foot, like a giant guy. I say, really? He say, yeah, how you know CB carrying on? I think I'm expecting to see a big guy. I can't wait till I get home to tell my wife that this Lord Graham is much shorter than I am.
The body is smaller than the mouth.
Yeah, whatever OC you can do in there to turn up the volume or whatever to make
you taller, bigger.
You do that. Turn it up.
Miss Susan is working on some artificial intelligence, to see what we can do with that.
Yeah. Yeah, it was so funny. He said he listened to you all say every morning, him and his wife, and so at least we got a little audience out there, OC.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's a huge audience out there, it's, amazing the number of people who listen to Radio Cayman.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I know you got to go, so we talk to you later.
Okay. Also, want to send belated happy birthday greetings to Mr. Ken Hurlston. I believe on Monday we did mention that as well. I'm looking for the list that had been sent to me on Monday. But again, Mr. Ken Hurlston, and of course he and I go back some ways as well. 1968. When I did my first one and only stint with National Bulk Carriers coming out of New York. I was in New York, had applied for my green card. In those days, when you applied for your green card, you had to leave the jurisdiction. You couldn't stay there. And, of course, my family being a law-abiding family ensured that they complied with the law. I had a choice to come back to Cayman or to go take a little trip on National Bulk Carriers. I went down to the National Bulk Carriers, their office, and shipped out. Flew from JFK International Airport to London, stayed in Southampton overnight. The next day, took the ferry across to Le Havre, France, and joined a boat that was called the Frisia, which was previously known as the Universe Challenger. And Mr. Ken Hurlston was one of the Caymanians on board. As a matter of fact, I think we joined us at the same time. But he helped to shepherd me through as a 17-year-old. He helped to shepherd me through my 9 months at sea as well. So extremely thankful to him. So happy belated birthday to you, Mr. Ken Hurston. With that, we're going to take a commercial break so we can have our young parliamentarian seated in the studio. Don't change that dial. Please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
My mom's a superhero. She always knows what to do when I feel icky. Yesterday, we went to West Bay Pharmacy, and they had everything she needed. Medicine, my favorite band-aids with dinosaurs, and even flavored vitamins. Mom says they keep our family healthy. I think they're magic. But don't tell anyone. I think superhero shop at West Bay Pharmacy. West Bay Pharmacy, where the superheroes shop. West Bay Pharmacy and Centennial Towers. Convenient quality care is just around the corner.
Looking for the ultimate place to watch the world's biggest football tournament? Head to Legends Bar and Grill, Coca-Cola's headquarters for every match. It's the closest you'll feel to being at the games live with Coca-Cola mixer specials all tournament long. Feel the energy and cheer on your favorite team surrounded by your country colors. Can't make it out? No problem. Order Legends' famous menu for home delivery and bring the match day experience to your living room. Legends Bar and Grill, your World Cup Coca-Cola headquarters.
Cineco's parametric insurance after hurricanes is now available for motor policies. Fixed automatic payouts cover incidental vehicle expenses like fuel, cleanup, and minor repairs. No claims, no damage required. $200 for comprehensive policies or $100 for third-party policies. Available exclusively through Cineco and included with all new motor insurance policies and upon renewal for current policies. Visit Cineco.ky today. Cineco. Keeping Cayman covered.
There you go, sir. Thanks for choosing JN Money Transfer.
Boy, thanks to JN Money Transfer, I can stay right here in Cayman and pay mama bills back home in Jamaica. Her water, light, phone and other bills never late. Every month I pay everything in one place.
Make payments to over 30 companies in Jamaica through JN Money Transfer. Fast, affordable, convenient. Call 1-800-744-1163 for details.
Your dream home starts with a vision, and often inspiration is at the heart of that vision. Brand Source Home Gallery's in-house designers are here to help bring your vision to life. Whether you're remodeling or building a new home, Brand Source Home Gallery is your one-stop solution. Explore their kitchen cabinets, sinks, faucets, bath fixtures, tubs, vanities, and more. Let Brand Source's designers help and inspire you with your next project. Call 623-5000 and schedule an appointment with a design expert at Brand Source Home Gallery, Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park, serving Cayman for 50 years.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
This is For the Record.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. In about 12 minutes, we're going to be going to our 8 o'clock news. So we do have in the studio with us some of the youth parliamentarians who will be participating in the youth debate in Parliament tomorrow on Thursday. So in the studio, we have the Deputy Leader of the Opposition, Honorable Kenneth Bryan, with us. What he's going to do, he's going to talk about, what is being planned, the format, and then we're going to have the three youth parliamentarians or young parliamentarians introduce themselves to our audience. That'll probably cover the period of time. And then when we return after the 8 o'clock news, then we will get into what the debate is all about and have the young parliamentarians talk more about tomorrow's event as well. Mr. Bryan, over to you.
Thank you so much, OC, and good morning to your listening audience, all those persons listening locally at home and abroad. My name is Kenneth Bryan. Today I'm not acting in the capacity as the Deputy Leader of Opposition, but as the Chairperson of the Select Committee for the Youth Parliamentarians. And today we have 3 of our youth parliamentarians who will be participating in the first ever summer debate, debating about a government motion, which is rather unique. But before we get into that, I want to take this opportunity to allow persons to introduce themselves. We can start from down that side.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Reeci-Lee Dewar.
Good morning. My name is Zaina Doctor.
Good morning. I am Sienna Bryan.
Okay, so we selected these 3 young ladies because they were the first ones to put out their hands, technically, yesterday when we were rehearsing. Mr. Connor, tomorrow is going to be a rather historical day. For the very first time, normally in Youth Parliament, we have the youth parliamentarians come and do a debate every year. And normally they do 2 motions and they select whatever motion they want that is topical to them, some things that are topical in the community. But this year, because of the significance of a motion that was passed by the Honourable Pearlina McGaw-Lumsden, the Deputy Speaker, and passed in Parliament, the social media ban for kids under 16, we thought as a committee how important it would be to hear from this set of stakeholders more than anybody else. Because if you think about it, I think the youngest age in Parliament as elected members now is 41 or something like that, or 39. So we have people from like 40 all the way up to close to 70 in Parliament. And many of these people didn't even born when phones were around, you know what I'm saying? And these young people have been living with phones all their lives, and it's become a part of who they are. So while the government and the MPs consider what they're going to develop by way of policy, regulation, and legislation, give an opportunity to hear it from the source itself. So that's what the topic is about. And this debate will be the first time the kids or the young persons will be debating a motion that actually passed. So we don't know. I just want to put out some parameters about the debate. They're allowed to vote whatever they want.
Okay.
So there's no opposition in government in that respect. So I guess we can just put it off to some of you to say, well, why is it important? And then we can start from the start. Why is it important to take part in this?
It's very important for this debate to happen and for the youth to take part in this because it's unlike anything that we've ever done before. Usually, the youth parliamentarians, we would pick an issue, the opposition in government, that we think relates to Cayman. And no matter what it is, we would have to debate for or against it. But in this particular debate, we're debating our consciousness. We're debating what we think, okay? And we have the opportunity to debate a real motion that has been passed and for consideration of the government. So it's not actually been put as a bill yet. So we, if anything, can let the government hear our opinions and see if there's anything that needs to be fixed or changed about the motion.
Yeah.
Just like Reeci said, I agree that this debate is different from anything that Youth Parliament has ever had before, because even though our previous debates are very important to Cayman's development because they actually get to hear from the youth about topics that they perceive important, this motion is actually in government and it actually has been passed. And so not only do the MPs get to hear what their most important stakeholders have to say and their opinions either for or against it, but they can also hear what differences they can actually make if they pass as a bill and how they can actually improve it based on their younger audience and the actual targeted audience for this motion.
I would like to add that also, as the chair said,
you gotta be careful how you address him, right?
It's more important for us to be able to voice our opinions because of the fact that the MPs are older in age and they didn't grow up with social media how we do, and it is embedded in our lives. And I think that it's good for us to give our opinion because it's it's us. It's affecting us. We are the stakeholders, as they said, and it's good to give our opinion on it, to hear the voice of young Caymanians, because it's going to affect us. It can affect us. It can affect our children. It can affect our siblings, whoever, and we need to be a part of that. And being the young leaders in Cayman, I think it's very important.
Okay, and while you may not have had a lot of input when the private member's motion was being put forward, I would imagine that you and your colleagues, and not only the young parliamentarians, but all young persons your age, the stakeholders, will take the opportunity and the advantage of having some input in the actual legislation that is going to be brought forward. You don't want older people bringing in legislation that's going to affect you, but you don't have a say in that as well. What do you say to that?
Yeah, I really hope that our peers, in our age group, will take it upon themselves to also voice their opinion and listen in on Thursday, because a lot of them actually do not know that this motion was passed. So that's another reason why it's important for us to come here today and let everyone know what is going on with these motions and in their country. You guys need to stay up to date, you teenagers specifically, especially with this motion, because it directly affects you and your voice needs to be heard.
Yes, that is a great advantage of our opportunity to have this debate, because even though this motion was passed in March, because a lot of our friends and fellow students, they don't keep up to date with the motions that passed in Parliament. I mean, we probably don't even that much, but because we're youth parliamentarians, it's important to us, and it was brought to our attention. So this is an opportunity for us to bring it to their attention and to ensure that everyone who is affected by this and who has an opinion on it is able to actually voice their opinions.
I think it's also good because we are the representatives of young people in Cayman, and I feel like, as Reeci said, all Caymanians and all young people should have their say in it, and it should be voiced. But we are the representatives. We have the chance to be able to speak our mind and speak for all the young people in Cayman. So I think it's very important that we get our voice out there, and for MPs themselves to come to our debate and hear us out, because we are the people that you need to be hearing this from and what matters in the parliament.
How long? Go ahead.
Because I know we're going to go to a break soon. One of the things that people are already texting in is to make sure we say when. So the debate is tomorrow in Parliament, and the public is invited to come. They can come and sit in the gallery and watch it, or they can listen to right here on Radio Cayman. We'll be airing it live.
Yes.
Or you can go to the Parliament YouTube channel and watch it from there. We're encouraging everybody to please take part in this, because the time is at 10 a.m. My apologies. And the debate will go on until every member have spoken. This is the first time ever we're having something like this, and to hear, you're going to be blown away. I got a little sneak peek because we didn't go through their speaking notes. We allowed them to put their own position out there, obviously with the rules and controls of Parliament, which they've gone through that exercise before. So we know that they're going to be mature about it, but we don't know what the outcome is going to be. Normally, on the motions. The other part that is important to say here is not only this year's cohort of YPs. We've had former YPs who've come home to school for summer, who are a little bit in the older bracket, not older bracket, they're still young in my perspective, but 2 years ago YPs, last year YP, and I think even somebody who just got back home from university. So you have a very mature contingent of members from as young as age 15 to all the way to age 21, to give a close perspective. And all those persons in that age bracket would have been affected by social media and the influences of it, positive and negative, and have the best viewpoint to offer the public as to what their generation would be thinking. So again, it's live tomorrow in Parliament. You're welcome to come in, or you can listen to it right here on Radio Cayman, or you can go to the Parliament YouTube channel and watch it there.
Okay, we have about a minute left. Very quickly, how long have each of you been young youth parliamentarians?
Oh, each of us are currently in our first year as
first
youth
year?
parliamentarians.
Okay.
Yes, but we all want to come back. because we went another term.
And when we return, one of the things that I would want you to talk about is the amount of research that you have done for this particular debate, and how much you have learned as a result, of that research that you have done, and in terms of there are things that you may have known already, being involved in social media. For instance, there are people who recognize the addictive nature of some social media platforms as well. So it'll be interesting to know how much that you have learned from that as well. And of course, I'm sure that you may not want to give out too much information to provide to your opposition, in the debate as well. But it'll be interesting to know. So, folks, with that, we've reached top of our 8 o'clock news. When we return, we will continue our conversation with our young parliamentarians. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back immediately after the 8 o'clock news.
For today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Island.
With your latest news, I'm Carsley Fuller. It's a second week of spiking gas prices. According to the Utility Regulation and Competition Office, the average price of self-service regular gas has jumped another 8 cents after a 25-cent spike the week before. It's now $5.94 a gallon. The average price for premium self-service rose another 13 cents to $6.46. Again, that's on the back of a 26-cent increase the previous week. On the flip side, the average price of diesel fell a nickel to $6.18 a gallon. According to Offreg, you can get the cheapest self-service regular gas at AA Red Bay for $5.78. That's up 12 cents from the last check on June 24th. On the diesel side of things, refuel at the airport has the lowest price at $5.75 a gallon. Offreg says folks in Cayman Brac saw a bit of relief with prices falling 4 cents to $6.15 a gallon. Little Cayman residents are still paying $7.25. You can find the latest gas prices at offreg.ky. As you heard right here on Radio Cayman, MP supported a $48 million supplemental appropriation for the Ministry of Education and Training's 2026 budget. That means it's jumped from $21.4 million to just under $70 million for the year.
$48 million to support the acquisition of educational facilities to address immediate and long-term capacity needs within the public education system, while also providing funding to complete the Cayman Brac High School project, including construction, commissioning, and operational readiness requirements.
Speaking to the supplemental funding request in Finance Committee on Tuesday, Education Minister the Honorable Rolston Anglin clarified that in relation to the Cayman Brac High School, this is not an increase over the original contract amount.
That amount that's being allocated to that project would be $19 million, but not an additional amount over what was previously discussed and announced.
He added that this funding will help support the purchase of, quote, 2 additional facilities. However, when pressed for specifics, the minister opted not to announce those potential purchases to the public at this stage. And a new magistrate has been introduced to the Cayman Islands Summary Court. Here's Radio Cayman's Jevi Ebanks.
Chief Magistrate the Honorable Angeline Hernandez on Tuesday announced a new magistrate joining the lower court bench. Mr. Dwayne Murray, a Trinidad and Tobago listed magistrate, appeared during Tuesday's sitting of the main criminal list, shadowing the chief magistrate as he begins transitioning into his role. The appointment will make him the only permanent male magistrate on the bench and the 4th magistrate alongside Chief Magistrate Hernandez, Her Honor Vanessa Allard, and Her Honor Philippa McFarlane. Mr. Murray will fill the vacancy left by Magistrate Kirsty Gunn back in January after 20 years of service. The Summary Court oversees a wide range of civil and criminal matters, including affliction cases, drug rehabilitation matters, domestic violence applications, and deals with all criminal cases as the court of first instance. The court also operates specialist divisions including traffic, youth, coroner, drug rehabilitation, domestic abuse, and mental health courts. Jevi Ebanks, Radio Cayman News.
Now with a check of international news, here's the BBC, which takes us out of the newscast. I'm Carsley Fuller.
BBC News with Govinda Gill.
Police in South Africa say they arrested more than 900 people on Tuesday during nationwide protests against illegal immigration. Tuesday marked an unofficial deadline set by anti-immigration groups for all undocumented migrants to leave South Africa. Amnesty International has called for a peacekeeping force for Sudan after detailing the extent of crimes against humanity allegedly being committed there. The investigation had accusations of deliberate violence, including killing and rape. The UN's Children Agency is warning that twin earthquakes that struck Venezuela a week ago have exacerbated the risk of child exploitation and trafficking. Local charities have documented reports of rescued children going missing and online ads suspected of trying to sell under 18s. Spain's health ministry says there were more than 1,000 deaths in June attributable to heat. The figure is more than twice the number in the same period last year, which was Spain's hottest June ever on record. Police in Belgium say several people have died in a fire which broke out in a 10-storey apartment block in Antwerp. A search is continuing for anyone left inside the building, which houses more than 200 people. That's the latest BBC News.
Stay in touch with Radio Cayman with the latest up-to-date, accurate news and information. For your convenience, the headline news will be repeated on our sister station, Breeze 105.3 FM, weekdays at 8:30 a.m. Follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or download the Radio Cayman app in the App Store or log on to www.radiocayman.gov.ky and stay connected to what's happening in the community. Radio Cayman, your voice, your choice, your radio. For the Health of It, heard on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. and repeated on Saturdays at 9:30 a.m. Brought to you by UHealth International, University of Miami Health System. International patients go to UHealth International for consultations with renowned physicians, advanced treatment technologies, leading-edge medical therapies, and state-of-the-art surgical procedures. Whatever your particular reason for going to UHealth International, you will receive customized medical care delivered within a compassionate, multicultural setting. The care you need when you need it.
Radio Cayman News.
Finance Committee mulls over more than $134 million in supplemental government spending.
The request touched nearly every corner of government.
We reflect the needs of our community and government's commitment to responsibly addressing emerging pressures.
Radio Cayman. Your voice, your choice for today's biggest news.
7 days a week.
The 8 a.m. weather update brought to you by
CG Britcay, where people come first.
Pastor, good morning. Let's take a look at the latest weather report. Current temperature is 85 degrees. Relative humidity is 92%. The barometric pressure is 1013 millibars. The wind is southeast at 4 knots. Synopsis indicate residual moisture from the passage of a weak tropical wave will support isolated showers. Gentle breeze will move across the area due to a weak pressure gradient, and seas are forecast to be slight to moderate in open waters. Another tropical wave should be in the vicinity around Thursday, maintaining the chance of showers, and radar imagery indicate isolated showers in and around the Cayman Islands moving westward. Now the forecast for today is calling for partly cloudy skies with occasional cloudy spells and a 30% chance of showers and possible thunder, and temperatures will be in the low 90s today with a heat index near 104 degrees Fahrenheit. Your winds will be east to northeast at 5 to 10 knots, and seas will be slight to moderate with wave heights of 2 to 4 feet. Tonight, partly cloudy skies becoming cloudy at times with a 30% chance of showers, and temperatures dipping to the low 80s tonight. Your winds will be east at 5 to 10 knots, and seas will be slight to moderate with wave heights of 2 to 4 feet. Today's high tide will occur this morning at 9:55, with a low tide this afternoon at 12 minutes after 4, and a high tide again tonight at 11:15. The sun will set this evening at 6 minutes past 7 and will rise tomorrow morning at 5:52. And the outlook is calling for spotty showers to continue into Friday as instability lingers across the area from the passage of a tropical wave to the south and a trough to the north. And that's the very latest on your weather report.
Let's hear it for your Wildcat cheerleaders.
Aunt Angie, weren't you a cheerleader?
The best in the Western Hemisphere, until I attempted that switch kick, double twist roundhouse.
Huh?
Exactly. I must have been in the air for 20 seconds before I fell into that snare drum. I set a world record, though, and thankfully I could trust the CG Medical Portal with my claims. All 37 of them.
The CG Medical Portal. Safe and secure. CG Brit-K. Good like that.
The 8 a.m. weather update brought to you by
CG Brit-K, where people come first.
Are you looking for more weekend getaways with Friday flights? Well, Cayman Airways has added Friday flights to Panama for a limited time this summer. They're perfect for short and long weekend getaways, quick business trips, or easy connections across Latin America. And if Jamaica is on your summer wish list, seasonal summer flights to Montego Bay are also available. Call Cayman Airways on 949-2311, contact a travel agent, or visit CaymanAirways.com. See you on board our Friday flights to Panama this summer.
Radio Cayman, maintaining the innovation.
Got something on your mind that you want to share?
You can send a text, send a voice note, or even request a song. Go on, give it a try. Message us at 925-3261 on WhatsApp today. And get active with Radio Cayman. Also follow us on Facebook and Instagram, hashtag
Radio Cayman.
Radio Cayman, maintaining the innovation.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Enjoy a delicious start to your day with breakfast from Subway.
Top of the morning, let's check in with traffic, see what's happening on the roads, see what's flowing and what's slowing. Coming from the east on Shamrock Road, traffic is moving at a moderate pace. And as you approach the Linford Pearson Highway, traffic moving steady but flowing. And on Crew Road, moderate flow of traffic in both directions. Godfrey Nixon Way and Eastern Avenue flowing pretty good in both directions. And from the West Bay four-way stop, flowing at a moderate pace. On the West Bay Road in front of the Ritz, traffic is steady heading towards the Georgetown area, but nothing to worry about too much. And heading towards the West Bay area as well, especially in front of the Ritz. Eastern Avenue and Godfrey Nixon Way flowing pretty good in both directions. If you've seen an accident, so let us know by calling us at 949-6990. Join us again at about 10 minutes past 12. We'll give you another look at traffic.
Start your year off right with Subway's Fresh Fit menu. 4 protein-packed subs with 20 grams or more protein, under 500 calories, and loaded with full servings of crisp veggies on hearty multi-grain bread. Try the grilled chicken and avocado, the ham and turkey stacker, the seasoned steak and avocado, or the turkey and ranch delight. Big flavor, plenty of protein, and fresh veggies in every bite. Fuel your day the Fresh Fit way. Only at Subway. Subway. Eat fresh.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Enjoy a delicious start to your day with breakfast from Subway.
The countdown is on. Join us on Saturday, 11th July, 7 p.m. at the historic Pedro St. James for an unforgettable evening under the theme Starlit Shores. Watch 6 outstanding young Caymanian women take the stage as they compete for the prestigious title of Miss Universe Cayman Islands 2026. Experience an evening filled with elegance, confidence, culture, entertainment, and inspiration. Tickets are available now on Ticket Plus and at Funky Monkey. Join us as we enter a new era.
Diamonds shining in the tide.
If they are talking about us,
living in your head rent-free all this time,
we must be relevant. Radio Cayman since 1976.
With Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. For those of you who are just joining us, we have 3 of our youth parliamentarians in the studio with us. They're talking about the youth parliament that will be taking place tomorrow, 10 o'clock at Parliament. All are invited to attend. They will be debating the already debated and passed private members' motion in relation to social media ban for ages 16 years and younger, I believe it is. Again, for those of you just joining us, in the studio with us, not in his capacity as the deputy leader of the opposition, but the chair of the committee.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, and what I'm going to do again, because some of you may just be joining us, ask our young parliamentarians to introduce themselves to our listening and our viewing audience again.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Reeci-Lee Dewar.
Good morning. My name is Zaina Doctor.
Good morning. My name is Bryan.
And if the last name Bryan sounds familiar, I will say no more.
Yes. Mr. Connor, thanks again and welcome again for those who are tuning in for the first time. Today we're here with 3 youth parliamentarians representing the Youth Parliament as we take a historical step into debating a motion that have been passed by the government and Parliament, brought by the Honourable Deputy Speaker. Historical in the sense of this is the very first time the youth parliamentarians will be participating in a motion that is really being considered. And motions are usually just what they say they are, considered. So the government is going to go through the process of looking at the whereas clauses of the motion and figure out how they want to implement it, or if they're going to implement it. Because there's no guarantee that when you have a motion done that it's going to be followed through. Many times motions are passed and they go on shelves and they collect dust and nothing ever happens with it. Mm-hmm. And the good news is that with this debate tomorrow at 10 a.m. at Parliament, they will have an opportunity to be, because they are the most important stakeholders, being the closest to the ban as possible and have had the impacts, positive or negative, of social media, to give the country as well as MPs and legislators the opportunity to hear a perspective that nobody else can give other than them. And these are selected young persons, the best in their schools, the best in their debate clubs, and who have the experience now to be able to articulate themselves adequately and give good contribution to this topic. So it's really, really important to get everybody to tune in tomorrow, either here on Radio Cayman or on the YouTube channel, or come to Parliament and sit in gallery and watch. But while I say that, and before I go back to the young ladies who are representing the youth parliamentarians today, I want to let everybody know this is going to be a very good, diverse group of young persons. Okay. We have even persons from Cayman Brac coming over to participate, and we cannot leave out our sister islands. And another person to highlight, which is a past parliamentarian, Miss Janelle Calhoun, who was a past parliamentarian, but also now the Cayman champion, who have won the national public speaking competition, and she'll be going away to represent the Cayman Islands and compete in the UK for the 13 to 17 in July against 50 other young people across the world. So you see that we have very strong, capable young minds who have done the research, have their perspectives, and going to deliver a totally different viewpoint than the age bracket of 40 to 70 years old. So I would encourage everybody, because there's a lot of points on this for and against, that it'd be great to hear what these young persons said. So I'll stop there and then pass it back over to you, Mr. Connor, to interview the young ladies.
Yes. So we wanted to know, based on the research that you have done for this debate, what has been revealed, some things that you may have known already, and some things that you may have learned as a result of your research.
Well, I can't say that for me specifically the research has shown anything that has been unbeknownst to me, because technically I am the research and my friends are the research. And, the stuff that we'll be researching and debating on are stuff that, again, directly affects us. So we more or less already know the ins and outs of this topic, like, the back of our hands. Okay. It's very familiar to us.
Yes, just like Reeci said, the research
is not so, we're not so much focusing on what other countries have found out, but I have been comparing it to, because this is a very hot topic globally now. And so I have compared it to what other countries have done, like the UK and Australia have passed this motion or debating it. And actually a difference between the UK's motion and our motion is that the UK actually has a year of enforcement or a time of enforcement. And so I think that is another reason why young people around us should tune in and should listen tomorrow, because it's very important. This is not something that is set in stone. It's not a bill yet. And so even if you're for, if you're against, just the fact that your opinions can alter the motion is very important, and you're actually being given a chance to come to the stage and to alter it.
Yes, as Zaina said, that we have found research from the UK and Australia as well, and I feel like majority of us are using statistics from those countries and putting it into our speeches, because it's very important to see how other countries have used it, but also we need to take into consideration if it has worked for other countries and if it hasn't, and how is that going to impact Cayman, because Cayman is very different from Australia and the UK, and how it can work in Cayman.
Okay. Now, on some of the research in the United Kingdom and a consultation found that 9 out of 10 parents backed a ban for children under the age of 18. Again, that's the parents talking about it, as opposed to the young persons under the age of 16. Do you feel that we need to provide some sort of a forum here, other than the youth parliament, for young people to be able to express their views, and for parliamentarians to understand their thought process, your thought process?
I think yes, completely, because there has been a lot of research that is solely adults and adults' opinions on it. And I think in Cayman, what we do need to do is we need to do surveys. We need to do meetings with young people, not just youth parliamentarians that are aware of it, but regular, ordinary children that use social media in their everyday lives, and get their opinion on it, because I feel like this motion was passed without any input of the youth. And who says that the banning of mental health, the banning of social media is going to impact our mental health in a positive way? Nobody has asked the youth if that is something that would benefit our mental health. And I think that's mental health is a big part of this motion, and safety. But why aren't we asking the youth before something is passed, or before even the motion was even thought of being created, if this would help us? So I think Cayman needs to do a better job of asking the youth, and using surveys and going to schools even, and really interacting with the youth and asking for their opinion, because at the end of the day, it is affecting us, and we need to be able to voice our opinions. And I think Cayman does need to do a better job of allowing the youth to have our opinions, because we do have our opinions.
I agree. I really think that some type of survey or forum should be sent out before this motion gets to the bill stage, because again, a lot of the youth do not know what this is happening. And most of our research is based off of the UK or Australia. The Cayman Islands is different from the UK and Australia. We're a different place. We're in a different region of the world. We have different types of teenagers. We have different interests. Yes, we're all teens, but the research is going to show something different. And I really feel like our bill, our motion affecting the Cayman Islands should be based on the Cayman Islands.
Yes, I definitely agree with both Sienna and Reeci, because when we base the children in the UK and children in Cayman are very different environmentally. They grew up in very different environments. And Cayman, and this is a global issue, of course, especially recently, whereas parents don't want to send their children outside because it's getting more and more dangerous. You know, they don't want them wandering about all hours of the night. And so they're keeping them inside more often, especially for summertime and break times for school, where children have a lot more downtime. What are they going to do in this downtime? So that's a big question that has come up, not only for Caymanian children, but for the other countries that have passed this motion or that are considering it. Because social media has become almost like a clutch to parents and to children. And it's almost become like a babysitter, because when you see all these like iPad kids and things like that, when you don't have anything to entertain your children, and when you can't just send them outside anymore or go play with the neighbor, then social media becomes a thing that you allow them to use and allow them to entertain themselves. And so when we are talking about getting rid of this for the target audience, which is younger children, teenagers, then that poses a problem. Okay, what are the children going to do now? Are they going to get in more trouble? So that's a thing that I've seen come up a lot in research.
Okay, one of our listeners has written in and said, is it possible that because of their age, it is more likely that they will be more biased with this motion? I would like to hear their views on that, whether or not because of your age that you're likely to be biased.
I think we would be more biased because of our age, but that doesn't change or cloud our vision necessarily, because we have grown up in this generation. We have seen the downsides and the bad effects, but we have also had the opportunity, which a lot of the older generation does not have the opportunity, to actually see how it has helped a lot of people grow socially, and also how it has helped educate a lot of young children. Because even with the news, not a lot of young children will read or watch the news, but social media makes it more digestible, where sometimes you don't even realize that you're actually digesting the news until you see it. And so I feel like even though we may be biased because that we use it, there's a reason we like it and we use it, not just because of its addictive nature.
I would like to add that all of the YPs, by the time, there's only 2 15-year-old YPs that this would actually affect right now, which is me and my colleague Dominic.
Okay.
And so, however, once this is passed, we would all be aged out. We would all be over 16. So yes, there could be a bias because we use it, but there's also a bias when it comes to adults. Adults don't use social media as much as we do. So there's also that bias that is against social media for teenagers. But I do think that there is a bias because we do use social media, but I feel like we are all mature enough, and there's a lot of people, surprisingly, there's more people for than against in youth parliament, and I think it's going to be very interesting, and I think everyone should tune in to find out that all of our opinions on it and see the various of different sizes, because I feel like a lot of people are going to be impressed and surprised about the various of different ideas and research that we have come up with, and putting aside that bias that has been put onto us almost.
Well, Mr. Connor, I think that's a beautiful segue to highlight some other factors, which is I want to take this opportunity to thank my colleagues in the Youth Parliament Committee, the Honourable Pearlina McGaw-Lumsden, and my colleague from Red Bay, Mr. Roy Tatum, who's also committee members. And I also want to take this opportunity to highlight Ms. Nordra Walcott, who's been a key promoter and developer. She has taken youth. I've been elected now 9 years, and she's been with the Youth Parliament and its growth and development. And the kids love her so much. She's so dedicated to this. And it was our core idea of coming from her to say, listen, let's actually really give them an impact. And you can see how significant this is developed. And I tell you the truth, I can see at least about 10 new leaders of the future in the Youth Parliament already. So I really encourage everybody to tune in, because you're going to be blown away by what you hear.
Okay. Two questions. This one person says, are there other less restrictive ways to protect children online that focus more on education and parental involvement? And then my observation is that these 3 young ladies here are so articulate in their presentation. But we continue to hear people talk about some social media platforms where you use emojis, or you don't use standard English language, and as a result of that, some people are challenged when it comes to writing or when it comes to articulating themselves clearly to others, as well. Can you comment on both of those? One, whether or not there are other options to protect children online?
For the first one, whether or not there are options to protect children online, I feel like that is why we need to put out the research and have this debate with the youth so that we can look deeper into any different, opportunities or methods to make sure that our youth are protected yet not restricted. And then for the second one about the use of emojis and texting online and the declining literacy, that is not necessarily solely attributed to social media because we do in fact learn how to read and write in school. I feel like most of the children who are having their literacy affected are probably not showing up to class the way they should be. And for a lot of us, social media helps us to actually articulate and express ourselves. We can go on the forums and type out what we mean or speak out, our emotions.
Yes, I definitely agree with Reeci because I feel like there should be other ways to combat this issue before outright just banning it for young children. And I also feel like for the literacy issue, children go to school 6 hours a day. And even though they might spend a large portion of that day on social media, they're still in school 6 hours a day. And so if their use of social media impacts their literacy and their ability to read and write so much, that is more of a question of what they are doing in the classroom rather than what they're doing on their phone. Because I've also seen social media help with literacy and help strengthen children's vocabularies. So it's a matter of what you're doing and if they're actually interested, because it is a vice, but it all depends on the child.
And the last thing that I would probably like to add is I think a big thing in Cayman recently especially is youth and education has been combined a lot. There's nothing for the youths to do except be on social media. It's not the 1980s anymore where we can just walk and go talk to a neighbor or go climb a tree. Banning social media will not make children go outside more. It will just navigate us unsafely, if anything, online. And I think pushing Cayman has pushed education so much, and which is a good thing. However, youth and education are very, very different things. Youth is about the mental health of the youth, about the things to do in Cayman and how happy we are in Cayman and why
Quality
if the
of
youth,
life.
the quality of life, but if the youth actually even want to stay in Cayman. And I think it has been merged way too much, youth and education, because the youth is not only about education, it's about quality of life, it's about our future. And I think we need to do a better job at giving the youth things to do, because a lot of people act like when they were younger, you didn't need things to do. You would just go climb a tree, but that's not the way things work now. There's social media now, technology is staying, and we need to develop with the world instead of putting a bubble over Cayman.
Okay, we're going a little bit over time, but I have one more question for you. People, progressives, you sure you want to do the show this morning, or should we just continue with our young youth parliamentarians? Now, in real life, normal circumstances, normal conditions in a parliament or in any other legislative body, there are special interest groups that are represented in there through the voice of the parliamentarian, right? In your particular case, are you aware as to whether or not the internet providers, those providers, anyone will be expressing the concerns or the responsibilities of those internet providers? Will anyone be representing that group, or will it just be for and against the ban?
Well, Mr. Conn, I think it's important that I chime in on that one, because that one is kind of outside the realm for the youth parliamentarians. I'm not saying that they wouldn't know this, but we're taking the viewpoint from how they feel about it. I think that's a very important stakeholder for government to consider. Have they spoken to Flow? Have they spoken to Digicel? Have they spoken to the satellite? What's his name again? The guy who has Elon Musk. Because you don't even have to go through Flow and Digicel anymore to get internet access. So the controlling mechanism is going to be more difficult. But yes, the good news is it was a motion that was passed, right? And it's not law yet. And that's why this discussion is so important, because you will be able to bring in other perspective of, is this going to be as easy as you think it's going to be? Because it's not going to be easy. Countries across the world are having so much challenges with this. So another point that was brought up on I think it was on Saturday when we had our rehearsals, is somebody said something about parenting, to say that that maybe we're trying to take away our responsibilities of parenting by banning this. I can't remember how the comment was. I can't remember who said it. But there's so many different points. And again, I want to encourage everybody, trust me, you do not want to miss this debate.
Yes.
These young persons, in my mind, represent the filter of this very important topic, and what comes out of their minds and thoughts are probably going to be the pure substance of the of information that you need to decide whether or how we're going to do this, if we're going to do it, and how significant it's going to be. The technical limitations, our abilities to deliver on what the motion talks about is for the government to consider. But the practical application and the impacts of it, we're really going to hear that from the youth parliamentarians. It's also important to note that our good Honourable Deputy Speaker will be on at 9 a.m. today. So she will give you where her heart was, because we have to give so much love and respect and support to our Honourable Deputy Speaker, who brought this matter to Parliament, obviously on behalf of the People's Progressive Movement. But I don't want to mix up youth Parliament and the politics of things, right? But she will have an opportunity to give the spirit of it, because I know herself were adamant about having these young people participate in this way, because it is a very complicated one, but we have to address the matter some way or another.
But what we're hearing from them, and what we heard earlier, was that they feel also that they should have been consulted even before this motion was brought forward. Isn't that what you all are saying?
Yes.
Don't let me put words in your mouth.
Not just us as youth parliamentarians, but the youth in general.
Yeah, I think it was good. It would have been good to get our opinions on it first without creating the idea of like panicking the youth, especially. And I think there could have been more research for the youth wise.
Yes, I understand why not, because of the fear of bias from youth, obviously, because I feel like majority would say, no, we don't think this is necessary. But I also feel like that's why it's a really good thing that we're debating this, because the youth aren't just given the motion and said, here, do you think this should be happening? Instead, they're actually able to see what their peers think and actually have access to formulated arguments before they actually form an opinion on it.
Okay. We've gone over time, but I want to give each of you an opportunity to give a shout out to your colleagues, family members out there, encouraging them to attend tomorrow.
I really look forward to seeing faces in the gallery, especially those of you who are concerned about bias. I really think that Thursday will shock you what we have to say. So come in person or watch on the Cayman, the Parliament YouTube channel.
Or listen to Radio
Or
Cayman.
listen live right here on Radio Cayman.
Yes, I would love to see all the people who had questions come to actually watch us debate tomorrow. And if they have any more questions, they'll probably get answered right there tomorrow at 10 a.m. And I would also, because even though it's available on platforms, I would still encourage a lot of people to watch live, because not only is that supporting us, but you're actually able to see how the youth interact. And this will I feel like this will calm a lot of those who are suspect of bias and unsure whether we are truly educated in what we're talking about.
I also think that just coming out in general will show us so much support, and the fact that Cayman can change where we are listening to our youth more. And I think it's so important that all the MPs especially come to our debate and listen and hear what the youth has to say. And I think anyone that is unsure of whether we can do this or not, please, please, please come to our debate and make sure that you come out and you listen to what we have to say, because all of us have a voice and all of us want to say our opinions. And I think it's so important that everyone listens.
Okay, I want to thank all of you. There's no doubt that Cayman has a bright future. So when we return, we will hear from our elected politicians, and you have heard from future potential politicians as well, but the upcoming voice of the Cayman Islands as well. And they can certainly, they can acquit themselves, quite clearly and forcefully as well. And I want to say thank you and all the best to you and the rest of your colleagues as well. Mr. Bryan.
Mr. Connor, I just want to simply say it is so important for you to recognize there's 3 women in the room.
Yes.
Right? I am so proud of the young women in this country who are taking steps to lead. Their rightful place in leadership in this country. Majority of our parliament is women, and not undermining men. Obviously, I'm a man myself, but I'm really proud of these young ladies and all the other ones there. Trust me, you want to listen to this debate. Thank you, Mr. Connor.
Okay, thank you. Folks, we're going to take a commercial break. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
At Kirk's Home Center, we can make your life much better. We got it all together. We got a great deal in store for you. From cookware to stereos, from power tools to plumbing supplies. Yeah, we got the best goods with the best price and a service to make you smile. Kirk's Home Center, we got a great deal in store for you.
Did you know that Doctors Hospital provides urgent care services 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? And Doctors Hospital's urgent care physicians have access to the most advanced MRI and CT imaging in the Caribbean, providing reliable diagnostics when you need it most. When you need quality urgent care for an illness or injury, Doctors Hospital is here for you 24/7. Whether it's a migraine, chest or abdominal pain, shortness of breath, broken bones, or another urgent need, Doctors Hospital at the top of Walker's Road. Urgent care right now.
Babe, not tonight. You keep poking me and I need to be rested for meetings tomorrow.
What? I was almost asleep. That's the mattress spring I keep telling you about, not me. We really need to get a new mattress.
Tossing and turning, back hurting, can't sleep? It might be time to turn in your old mattress and go to bed with a new one. Browse the huge mattress showroom at Brand Source Home Gallery and pick the perfect mattress today. With mattresses to suit every budget, Brand Source Home Gallery stocks a wide selection of sizes and styles like pillow top and gel memory foam. So stop tossing and turning and sleep better tonight with a new mattress from Brand Source Home Gallery, Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park.
One of my favorite memories listening to Radio Cayman over in the BRAC was during hurricane season, waiting for the updated storm coordinates to be able to track it on the map. So I would be either by the radio or by the map, me or my dad. Whoever was closest to the radio would shout out the coordinates and the other person would mark it down on the map, and then we'd both take a look and see where we predicted the storm to be moving and how quickly it would get to the BRAC or how close it would come to the BRAC. It's one of my favorite memories. Happy 50th anniversary, Radio Cayman.
89.9 Radio Cayman helps you to weather the storm during this hurricane season.
One of the most crucial elements of hurricane preparedness is storm awareness. During the season, it is of utmost importance to pay attention to the latest local weather forecasts, as hurricanes do not suddenly form or strike. There are various methods of advanced notification. Utilizing such may be the difference between a favorable outcome and disaster. Both television and radio serve as excellent mediums with up-to-the-minute storm path information in the wake of a hurricane. Another method of tracking a hurricane may be only arm's length away. Your smartphone or tablet can be your most valuable tool before, during, and after a storm, providing countless numbers of apps with crucial hurricane information. Many apps allow you to track storms with moving radar and satellite imagery, plus offer alerts, current conditions, forecasts, advisories, and even video.
This hurricane preparedness tip was brought to you by your community radio station, Radio Cayman, 89.9 FM.
This is For the Record.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. That was an excellent discussion with our youth parliamentarians this morning as well. And again, we want to take this opportunity to encourage everyone to, if you're unable to attend in person, follow on CIG TV and the Parliament channel or on Radio Cayman as well. Now in the studio with us, Mr. Roy Tatum, member who represents the constituency of Red Bay and the deputy leader of the opposition, now in his capacity as deputy leader of the opposition. Gentlemen, good morning. Welcome back to For the Record.
Good morning, Mr. Connor. I'm going to throw it straight over to my colleague because I've been here for the last half an hour with you. So,
yes.
Roy.
Good morning, OC.
Morning.
Good morning to my constituents of Red Bay, all of Grand Cayman, and as always, my friends and family over in Cayman Brac. It really was a fascinating conversation. I wasn't heard or seen, but I was in a little chair, sitting in the chair over there in the corner, and I had a big smile on my face the entire time. Three fantastic young ladies, and a wonderful part of the youth parliament group. I have the honor of being on the youth parliament committee.
Okay.
I just I've experienced youth parliament in the past, but when I worked with Sir Alden and Office of the Premier, but I was typically just to go and do a presentation on a single day on a particular topic to youth parliamentarians. But I've seen them blossom over the months in preparation for the debate that happened in March. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to be there. I had to travel to a conference. I wasn't there for the final debate, but I did watch it online. But it's just wonderful to see them progress over time. And hats off to Nordra, as you heard earlier on. And hats off also to my colleague, the deputy leader of the opposition. And he puts his heart and soul into it. And I have to say that the progressive members of that committee really are really shown in the work that we put in. But again, especially my deputy leader. So hats off to him and to Nordra. Looking forward to the debate tomorrow. I will be there, and I will join the young ladies in asking the public to come out and be there in person if you can. Obviously, everybody can't, so do tune in to Radio Cayman or on the YouTube channel. And the wonderful thing with YouTube is that you can watch it even later in the evening, as I did.
Yes.
As I did the debate that Youth Parliament had when I wasn't here in Grand Cayman. So good to be here with you, sir.
Great to have you. Great to have you as well. Okay.
So yeah, Mr. Connor, I think it's important to highlight the fact that now that we are separated from the Youth Parliament Committee, and now we're back to the official opposition in the People's Progressive Movement, is that we in the party pride ourselves in making sure that youth participation is strong and robust, and recognize what we have done here, which is supported a new approach to giving this very important stakeholder group, the younger persons, an opportunity to basically debate and challenge something that we brought ourselves, because we believe in accountability of what we do and what we believe in, just to make sure that we're getting it right. So we really hope that the government, we're so happy that they accepted the Honourable Deputy Speaker's motion that she brought on our behalf collectively, that the government will listen to what these young people will say, what things to consider. Naturally, I'm assuming that they will go through the right protocols of examining all the area of impact and how to implement it and do some more further research. But I think that this stakeholder group is probably the best research you can get. Remember now what Youth Parliament is made up of. It's kids from every school across the country.
Good cross-section.
Very good cross-section of persons. They come with high grade levels, so they can articulate. They know how to do research. They come from debate clubs. They have access to their own social media platforms and their own social media handles, all of these different factors. So I couldn't think of a better stakeholder group to hear from than this one, and also hear it on a national level rather than behind closed doors where the government will consider it. So we're
a broad range of perspectives as well. I think I heard one of the young ladies say that there's probably more for the motion than against it. So So it's not just a cut and dried issue with them as a group. So I'm looking forward to hearing those conversations, those debates tomorrow.
Yeah, and that's a good segue for me to highlight the parameters of this. So for the scope of the youth parliament, normally what happens is, you select some and you put them in opposition, and you put them in government or in government. And whether they like it or not, they got to figure out ways to support it or to defend it or to be against it. This time, they have a conscience vote. So we don't know what the outcome is going to be. And that allows for them to truly state their position. But we've emphasized heavily the maturity they need to take, the research they need to do, because the people who are listening, you have a chance to potentially impact whether the government follow through with this or not. Because, again, a motion is a motion for the government to consider something. So as strong and as excited as we are as the official opposition, and I'm quite sure the Deputy Speaker would say this, we're excited that the government has accepted it, but does not mean that it will be implemented or implemented in its total capacity. It could be variations of it. And their voice can be an alter for or against or give supporting information and knowledge and perspectives. So it is really an exciting and unique time. We are very proud in the committee and in the Progressives to lead this charge of youth parliamentarians and and the Cayman young people participating in the democratic process. I think we should try to encourage this moving forward more.
One thing that occurred to me, and I haven't discussed it with you all yet, but it occurred to me when OC asked the question about a platform. And I'm going to propose that if young parliamentarians going forward want to come on in one of our slots here in Radio Cayman, I'm quite open for that to happen.
Yeah, because I could see that Mr. Connor was really excited to potentially even take up the whole show today. They were doing so well. But
no, really, yes. Well, they're well informed, immensely articulate.
What I think we can do, particularly the next Wednesday, is that obviously our parliamentary agenda is now going to be very, very light for the next 2 months. It's technically summer today. From the standing orders, we don't meet in July and August, so we won't be doing any parliamentary stuff. That maybe next week Wednesday. Obviously, they'll have the debate tomorrow, and they have a lot to talk about. People will talk about it. What did they learn from it? What did they hear? What the results are? And maybe bring those young ladies back or some other ones onto the show Wednesday, and they can have the whole show, and we can go from there.
Exactly.
But that's a wonderful idea, Roy. So we in the People's Progressive Movement and the official opposition are quite prepared to offer up that time for them. But Mr. Connor, with that being said, it's time now to transition to...
Before you transition... You mentioned Janelle earlier on.
Yes.
And first, sorry.
No.
A break?
No. We have to take a break before 9 o'clock. We need to take one before 9, Miss Susan. Yeah, okay. Why don't we just take that now? Then, folks, please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
She hear clunk and her car stop. I was just about to send her some money, so I send it straight to her JN money transfer card. It cost me less, and perhaps she use the card, pay the garage right away. She'll get discount through the JN Rewards program in Jamaica. This card make things easy. You can even get funds at any multi-link ATM.
JN Money Transfer Card. Fast, affordable, convenient. Tell your loved ones in Jamaica about it. Sign up is free.
Cineco's parametric insurance after hurricanes is now available for motor policies. Fixed automatic payouts cover incidental vehicle expenses like fuel, cleanup, and minor repairs. No claims, no damage required. $200 for comprehensive policies or $100 for third-party policies. Available exclusively through Cineco and included with all new motor insurance policies and upon renewal for current policies. Visit cineco.ky today. Cineco. Keeping Cayman covered.
My mom's a superhero. She always knows what to do when I feel icky. Yesterday, we went to West Bay Pharmacy, and they had everything she needed. Medicine, my favorite band-aids with dinosaurs, and even flavored vitamins. Mom says they keep our family healthy. I think they're magic. But don't tell anyone. I think superhero shop at West Bay Pharmacy. West Bay Pharmacy, where the superheroes shop. West Bay Pharmacy and Centennial Towers. Convenient quality care is just around the corner.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. Folks, because we went over the 8:30 mark, that is why we had to squeeze in the 2 commercial breaks. We apologize for that. So we have another 6 minutes and then we're going to go to our headline news. Mr. Tatum, we had to interrupt you to go to the commercial break.
That's
over
fine,
to
sir.
you, sir.
That's fine. I'll do it quickly. So, Janelle Calhoun. Right. I first met her during the last youth parliament. She was a mentor. Was that the title?
Yeah,
a mentor.
Past YP.
She was a past YP, and I listened to the advice that she was giving, and I was impressed by her then, just listening to her. Then I attended various functions, and lo and behold, there she was singing. Fantastic voice. I attended. Jubilate came on. An event that they put on for their anniversary. And lo and behold, who did they have there? A young Janelle, and had photos of her as a young singer in that program. And she did a fantastic job singing. I've seen her at various events since. And the last time I saw her was at the National Public Speaking Competition put on by ESU Cayman. Ms. Donna Bush is also involved with that. And I sat there and I listened to some young people, young debate. I was blown away. Some of the topics they were given, and in 50 minutes they had to prepare their debate. And I have to say, she's now going off, as was mentioned, to London to debate in an international competition in July. This is the kind of people that we are producing in our school system. These are the kind of folks that were coming through the youth parliament. I've just gone through several graduations of various kids from various ages. And last night was UCCA. And again, I was blown away by a couple of hundred kids, young people going through some not so young, getting their degrees. We are in a good place here in Cayman in terms of where our children are. And some of them are going overseas as well. So I left last night feeling elated again, as I always do after graduations. But hats off to all the graduates. Job well done, regardless of your ages. And I have to say also, hats off to these young ladies in the YP. I'm looking forward to the debate tomorrow. And everybody, please come out.
Yes, Mr. Connor, as I said to you, I'm going to be leaving at the 9 o'clock break. And my good honorable member, the Deputy Speaker, Ms. Pearlina McGaw-Lumsden, will be joining us and then taking forward the official opposition's positions as to what has transpired over the last sitting of Parliament. We had a finance committee yesterday, and there's some a couple of things that are worth mentioning, and I know my good honourable member will deal with that shortly. But I want to take this opportunity to congratulate the new university president of the Cayman Islands, a Caymanian female, and I'll ask my good colleague to speak to that one in a second, because I wasn't there. But I want to give my apologies why I wasn't there. It's because I was dealing with those young persons last night. We were training. I thought I'd be able to get out quick enough to come to the graduation ceremony and the announcement of the new president. But I had to make the choice to say I can congratulate all those university graduates, but preparing these young people is just as important. So congratulations to all of them and the new president. I also want to take this opportunity, because I don't think we have done so in our last appearances due to busyness of the agenda for Parliament, is we've now have officially a Caymanian in the National Hockey League.
Yeah, that family had a lot to celebrate.
Yes, over the last week.
Last week.
Yeah. So the young Mr. Cover. And so congratulations to him. Country is behind you and very proud of you, as well as Mr. Forgive me, the young man, this rider, Reed, sprinter. Cayman is doing so well athletically, and it shows that, as the good former Premier Juliana O'Connor-Connolly would say, we're small but we're Talawa. I think that's a term stolen from the Jamaican community,
yes.
But we don't mind using it. It's very, very good and relative to what we're trying to say, meaning that we're small but we're mighty. So with that in mind, I want to congratulate all of those young persons and those athletes who are doing so well. And we're not doing well only in athletics. We're doing well in educational opportunities. You know what? I'm going to do something rather outfield. I want to congratulate the Honourable Minister of Education. He's putting his money where his mouth is in respect to supporting it. Obviously, we'll continue to critique and give critical critique of what he's doing, but you can see he's adamant about pushing those things. And it's in spirit of our future nation-building approach. So, we got a lot to be proud of as a country in respect to some of those things. And I'm really excited for our country. But before we go to a break, and not to leave on a sad note, we have to acknowledge the unfortunate passing of a person that we want to highlight, because she represented what we believe in: participatory democracy. We had our public listening tour meeting, and our last location was in West Bay. We came on the radio here. We asked the public, come and express your concerns to us. And we were really happy with the turnout. Really, it's actually the best turnout we've had so far as we're ramping up in our listening tour. And we had one of the first ladies at the meeting was a lovely lady I can't remember her last name. I think it's Miss Liz is her first name. And unfortunately, before I say that, she came prepared. She had a list of, I think, 19 questions. So she was at home. She sat down, wrote out what exactly she... Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
Just for the listening audience to show, thank you, colleague, for bringing this. But she sent this to us. When we got there, she handed it out to every one of us.
Okay.
When you talk about participatory democracy, this is her preparing herself.
21 concerns.
21 concerns of, listen, you're doing a listening to our progressives. These are my concerns, and I want you to hear them. And we discussed a lot of the things that she had said. And unfortunately, we got the sad news on Monday that not much long after we had that meeting on the 18th, she passed away.
Yeah.
Wow.
Surprisingly, it was a big shocker. And we want to say we thank her for her prime example of what participatory democracy is about. She wasn't there about PPM or the government of the day or the opposition. She said, listen, I like what you're doing. These are the issues for West Bay. We want you to address them. Yes, it's the same lady. I don't remember her last name.
Okay, I'm being told we got to go to our headline news.
When we get back, we can wrap up
certainly.
on that.
Okay, folks, please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back immediately after headline news.
From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines. Local, regional, international news.
The headline news is brought to you by Kirk Market and Health Services Authority.
It's Active Intruder Training and Development Week. The Royal Cayman Islands Police Service says the initiative will strengthen national preparedness, enhance coordinated response, and help in developing policies to, quote, effectively manage potential active intruder incidents, particularly within local school environments. In international news, a 19-year-old woman is among 3 people who have died from suffocation during World Cup celebrations in Mexico City on Tuesday. A 48-year-old woman and a 44-year-old man also died after crowds descended on the city following the country's 2-0 victory over Ecuador. More than 1 million people took to the streets, mainly around the Angel of Independence monument in downtown, to mark the country's first World Cup knockout win since 1986. The mayor expressed her most, quote, sincere condolences to the victims' families and pledged support in the coming days. And the frontman of 1970s disco group Village People, Victor Willis, has died at the age of 74. The Texas-born musician was the lead singer and co-writer of the band's biggest hits, including YMCA, Go West, and In the Navy. The group became international stars in the 70s by performing while dressed as archetypal macho characters. Willis was alternatively a policeman and a naval officer. He left the band in 1980 and spent years fighting a legal battle over copyright to the songs he'd written, but he rejoined in 2017 and performed YCMA at U.S. President Donald Trump's pre-inauguration rally in January 2025. Those are your headlines. I'm Karsley Fuller.
More news available at www.radiokman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, Radio K-Man Headline News.
Your Cayman Islands Health Services Authority has been the national healthcare provider of the Cayman Islands for many generations. We have elevated our level of care to ensure you, our patients, have the best possible experience. We offer better access to care close to home with the most locations on all 3 islands, delivering a full range of primary, secondary, tertiary, and emergency care. HSA is a JCI accredited organization, and we are committed to caring for you.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. We have now been joined by Deputy Speaker and Member of Parliament, Honourable Pearlina McGaw-Lumsden. Good morning, Madam. Welcome to For the Record. Welcome back.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having us again, OC. It's good to see you, and good morning to Grand Cayman, Little Cayman, and Cayman Brac.
Okay.
So, Mr. Connor, we are honored to be now with us, our Honourable Deputy Speaker, who actually is the lead person within our party for the topic we were speaking about earlier. But just to wrap up and give the respect and honor to the lovely lady I was speaking of before we went to the break, her proper name is Miss Elizabeth Gayo-Ni-Ebanks. And again, to her family and her friends and those close to her, our greatest sympathies on behalf of the People's Progressive Movement. And we will definitely be there at the celebration of her life when that is done. Mr. Connor, I think it's time to have the Honourable Deputy Speaker join in. I know she was listening via the radio because she's the catalyst and the spark of the amazing conversation we had this morning, and who's come into Parliament since she's been elected and been electrifying, taking over Parliament with a, I think it's 5-0 now start with her motions, or 4?
3 is
3-0. No denials yet. I wasn't even that great when I started. So she has great charisma and she So in that being said, she's also on the committee for the Youth Parliament and participate and the mover of this motion. So I just wanted to get a little summary from her as I'm going to exit shortly, but to give her the opportunity to speak to the emotion itself.
Thank you so much, Deputy Leader. I appreciate that. I didn't listen extensively to the radio, of course, this morning, but I did get a few phone calls and one particular comment that was made pertaining to that. I think one of the YPs had indicated that they should have been consulted or something to that extent. And we take that fully on board. But I think when it came to the motion, more importantly, and I hope that the YPs understand, it's not a matter of opinion. It's not a matter of what feels right. The data was there, and that's what I had to focus on more than anything. And I think we live in a country that I think they have to understand and be proud that they're even consulted at this stage. That's something that usually don't even happen in most progressing countries. And we're proud and we're happy to have their input. And that's why it was important for the deputy leader to actually suggest that we have their input, because that's important. But I also think people have to understand and come to the conclusion that we are consumed by so many different things that is going on in our lives. And so it's hard to get everybody's input and concerns and so on and so forth. But I went merely on the data and from personal experience as well, what was happening with my nieces and nephews. There's no reason why we shouldn't have had approached it from that standpoint, because like I said, the data was there, information was there, speaking with the professionals were there. And so that's why I thought, but I also ran out of time. It was hard for us to get in contact with every single person and have their opinions and so on and so forth. It's not that it's not valid, and it's not that it's not valuable. Their input is invaluable. And that's why we thought it was important to have this summer debate and continue the dialogue, whether it's with parents, with teachers, with psychologists, and themselves. And I do appreciate all the YPs for taking their time out to actually debate this matter tomorrow, this motion tomorrow. And I would be there full on with all ears on deck, because it's important. Their input is very, very important. And like I said, it's very important that we have them, and I'm grateful for them and their input.
And of course, whatever government ministry or department takes the lead in relation to the actual legislation,
yes,
you would expect that there will be a consultative
further
process there as well. Which
yes, and I can speak on that quite. It would be the lead. This is Mr. Rankin. He is actually the lead. It falls under him. And in addition to that, it's 3 members of government, our YP, so we're also including them in that element as well, while we go out and consult other individuals that are obviously going to have an impact one way or another from a technology standpoint, and 2 members, which is probably Mr. Roy and myself, because Mr. Roy was the seconder on the motion. So they will be involved, and everybody, it's like a tour. We have to listen and try to see what's the best mechanisms going forward in order to get this implemented. And we're not heading in the wrong direction. We're heading in the right direction, because as you can see, most countries are going that route because they see the implications of what's happening with social media.
Yeah, and the young ladies here indicated that many of their colleagues, within their group are in support of some form of ban as well.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. And as my colleague mentioned, I was a seconder of the motion. I second the motion not just to support my colleague, but I also believe it's the right thing to consider. Keyword is consider.
Yeah.
And I also think it's a good topic for discussion, and included with that conversation needs to be things like should young people have phones in schools? So our youth are important. Their views are important. I want to just segue very quickly, if I could, which is why the PPM, People's Progressive Movement, are rekindling what we used to have years ago, and which is the Young Progressives. We will be creating not to, there's some social media pages for that. But if there are young people out there listening to us, I would urge you, if you're interested, please email youngprogressives@ppm.ky, youngprogressives@ppm.ky. It's not only important that our youth have a platform to come onto, but that they can be involved in the political process. I got involved with the PPM. I wasn't a young. I was younger, but I wasn't a young person. I got involved with the PPM 25 whatever years ago, and I have to say that it has allowed me opportunities to, in the early days, to not only provide my views around politics and what should be happening with the country, but I also learned a lot, and I learned that the things I may perceive as a younger person, as you grow and discover and you hear other perspectives, things aren't always black and white. There's lots of gray in between. And in considering that gray, including listening to the perspectives of others, is hugely important. So young people, if you're interested, you want to be a part of the political process in making determinations about the future of Cayman,
Join our youth arm.
Join our youth arm, Young Progressives, and contact any of us MPs or email youngprogressives@ppm.ky.
We intend to separate and apart from the official opposition, because today's show is about the official opposition, and we thought we'd bring that up in the context of the youth parliamentarians' participation. And we're so excited. By no means there's a reason why three of us are here for the committee.
Yes.
Because we really value that input, and we actually in the party have been working very hard with the youth arm. We have a good chairperson, and we're going to set up some time for them to come on the show to talk to, from the political perspective, specific, not the official opposition here. There's just two different worlds. One is party and one is the official parliamentary duties. And come on to talk about where we're taking it. We actually just started back the youth arm. We got a couple of people back on, really excited about it. So we're getting into that stage, particularly over summer. Now a lot of people are back home to regenerate that, remarket it, rebrand it, and then you're going to see
It's really exciting.
Very exciting. So I know Radio Cayman is not always as heavily inputted on the social media, but you're doing really good, I must say. YouTube, Facebook, Instagram posts.
Yep. We have a resident social media person now.
Yeah, man. You guys
dedicated.
have...
Dedicated.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, you guys
Is that
are
yours?
so you'll be hearing more from us in that respect. But Mr. Connor, it is 9:15, and we want to give some context. I'm going to leave you in the capable hands of our Honourable Deputy Speaker and Mr. Roy Tatum to talk about the rest of the parliamentary stuff we've done over the last week and in Finance Committee.
Excellent.
Yeah,
Cool. Excellent.
yeah. And I do want to add to the Deputy Leader, it's so important when it comes to our young persons, because one thing they do well is hold us accountable. They're very good at that, speaking up, participating in democracy, and holding us accountable. But they also bring fresh ideas. And like I've always said, even on the campaign trail and even now, we're not going to have all the answers. It's just not that simple. They're going to bring new and innovative ways of thinking of things, and that's so important. Yes. So their voice is extremely important. I'm young, but not as young as them. But, the fresh ideas and holding us accountable. And I know this is kind of a cliche, but, they represent the future. Exactly. And it's just that simple.
Cliche, but it's a fact.
No, that is a fact. We can't deny. We cannot deny that.
No.
Okay, with that, we're going to take a commercial break. Folks, don't change that dial. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
Accidents and illnesses can strike without warning. Ouch! When it comes to urgent care, every second counts. At Doctors Hospital, we have a dedicated team of experienced doctors and nursing staff available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Don't waste time in an overcrowded emergency room when you need urgent care. Whether it's a broken bone, a severe infection, or a sudden illness, trust in Doctors Hospital's unwavering dedication to providing the best immediate care. For complete urgent care when you need it the most, choose Doctors Hospital, located in Georgetown, 16 Middle Road.
Can you imagine your home completely organized? At Brand Source Custom Closets, we can. We specialize in designing and building custom closets and storage units for any room in your home, including the garage. With tailored designs and custom LED lighting solutions to fit your lifestyle and budget. Our custom closets expert is committed to enhancing the value of your home with a solution that is uniquely yours. Visit our showroom or call 623-6774 to schedule a no-obligation appointment with our design expert. Brand Source Custom Closets, 209 Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park.
Are you looking for more weekend getaways with Friday flights? Well, Cayman Airways has added Friday flights to Panama for a limited time this summer. They're perfect for short and long weekend getaways, quick business trips, or easy connections across Latin America. And if Jamaica is on your summer wish list, seasonal summer flights to Montego Bay are also available. Call Cayman Airways on 949-2311, contact a travel agent, or visit CaymanAirways.com. See you on board our Friday flights to Panama this summer.
50 years of Cayman's Voice, the People's Station. Strong, dedicated, committed, where every story belongs. News, music, community events, and talk shows lighting the way. From Grand Cayman shores to the Brac standing tall. Little Cayman's heartbeat, we're here for them all. Radio Cayman, 50 years we stand. One people, 3 islands, broadcasting boldly into the future.
With Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. We, have been having some musical chairs this morning in terms of rotating our guests in and out. Earlier, for those of you who are just joining us, we had some of our youth parliamentarians in the studio with us. They will be participating in a debate tomorrow at the Youth Parliament starting at 10 o'clock in the morning. You're invited to attend personally if you wish, or you can follow them on CIG TV, the parliamentary TV, as well as live right here on Radio Cayman as well. We encourage you to 105.3 FM. We urge you to support our young parliamentarians, support our young people, as well. Meanwhile, in the studio with us, Deputy Leader and Member of Parliament, Honourable Pearlina McGaw, and Honourable Roy, Deputy Speaker. Deputy Speaker, yep. And MP, Mr. Roy Tatum, who represents the constituency of Red Bay. Folks, the mic is yours.
Thanks so much, OC. And I'm happy to report, from my understanding, as you know, the motion was passed pertaining to the duty waiver. It was increased from 500 to 800. That was the motion that was actually put on the floor. And then, of course, government did indicated that during the summer months, instead of 800, it'd actually be 1,000. And during Christmas as well, which was welcoming to our ears. And as far as I'm understanding, that takes effect today, July the 1st. Yes. So it's July and August that we'll see some relief there from 300 to 1,000. And then I think also Thanksgiving is what I've heard with regards to the $1,000, that it's going to be increased for the $1,000. And I'm really happy that the motion was actually passed. OC, it's welcoming because as indicated in my speech, I don't think it was touched since 2018. Nothing has been done since 2018. And when you talk about inflation and cost of living, that has skyrocketed. So we have to think about it from a cost of living standpoint. It's not a one-box take-all solution. There's so many different factors that contributes to the cost of living, and we have to attack it from a holistic approach. So that's one of the elements. And as I indicated in my speech, it's not about numbers alone. I think we have to understand that hardworking Caymanians and residents, they're doing the right thing, OC, but they're still finding it increasingly difficult to keep up with the rising cost of living. And so I thought that element was extremely important to my argument, because it's not like we're anti-small businesses. We're not. I think people that are going to be able to travel are going to travel anyway. We're just trying to alleviate some costs and some mechanisms, put some mechanism in place to ease that cost of living burden when it comes to the motion. And so I'm very happy that it got passed. Mr. Roy, I think, seconded again. I think he's my lucky charm, to be honest.
We're a good tag team.
We're tag team. So that was one of the motions that have been passed, and I'm extremely happy, like I said, that it actually has been passed.
Now, one of the questions that I asked it was sort of like a rhetorical question on Monday's show was whether, persons like me who may not be able to afford an airline ticket to go to Miami or to Tampa or to Panama. And as a result of that, I may order it online.
Yes.
And when it comes, then I'm not exempt from that duty because I haven't traveled.
Yeah, and that's a second element that I got a lot of questions with regards to after the fact. So it's something that I need to, you as well? And then, so I need to start to try to establish and speak to the minister and see how best that we can try to have that. Even if it's not entirely waived, do we just say a percentage or something to that extent? Because you are right. There is a significant amount of the population that are not able to travel, but still require essentials. And so that's a discussion that I'm taking on board, and of course I'm trying to speak to the minister and try to establish how best or what mechanisms can be put in place, because that number is extremely high when it comes to people that are actually here and ordering Amazons particularly. So yeah, it's something that needs to be discussed, because I don't have the answer whether we're going to get through with that. It'll be like, okay, this is a lot now, so let's just stick to people that are traveling only.
Yeah, and if I may just to add to that, I was reading this morning release by the Chamber of Commerce what the new duty-free allowance means for residents, businesses, and communities. And one of the things that struck me in one paragraph, they speak, and I'll read it verbatim.
Sure.
Says, at the same time, not every business will view the change negatively.
Yes.
Freight forwarding companies, logistics providers, and businesses linked to overseas shopping may benefit from the increased activity. Some specialist retailers may continue to compete successfully by offering expertise, service, installation support, and convenience that overseas sellers cannot readily match. Now, in part of that, they in their view, the fact that freight forwarding companies, logistic providers, and businesses linked may benefit from that. The only way I can see them benefiting from it is if those persons who place orders overseas are given some reduction, as well.
Yes.
Because if you purchase it in the U.S. and you're unable to bring it with you on the aircraft, I'm not sure that you're exempted. It's only coming through the port of entry,
absolutely.
right?
Yes,
isn't it?
correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I was a little confused by their take on that part of the article that they wrote.
As my understanding is for individuals who are traveling, that's the only persons that I'm seeing that's impacted by this. There are other elements other than the people that are traveling, but that hasn't been addressed as yet. So no, you're correct.
Okay.
Just to correct one thing, that particular motion was actually seconded by
apologies, Deputy
by
Leader.
the Honorable Kenneth Bryan.
Okay.
It was the other one.
You can take credit for it, though.
No.
Hansard will say otherwise. Hansard will say otherwise.
I'm proud to take credit for the social media one as a seconder.
Yeah. And I think, so I that's one motion. My other motion that I got lucky on as well, even though we debated until past midnight, was pertaining to the protection of Caymanian participation in the real estate sector. Yes. And again, that's not something that's new. That was discussed on the floor and passed unanimously by the Honorable Bernie Bush and Mr. Chris Saunders were the seconder. And that had been like 3 years ago, to be honest, OC, just like nothing has been done. And this is a key element in all of this, because I find a lot of people are watching Parliament, which is so good, and participating. I think to give kudos to the Honourable Speaker and us as representative to allow the public to feel that they're part and parcel of this progress and process. And that's important, because when their voices are heard, when they pay attention, we then become better elected officials. And motions is something that people are not fully grasping what it is. And I do want people to understand it's not law. It really isn't. It is a motion, which basically is a proposal for government to consider. And then government has to ascertain and establish and try to seek what's the best framework governing this proposal that we're putting forward. Again, this was passed in 2023 or 22, if I remember correctly. Nothing has been done, but I know the standing order is now established at 3 months or 6 months. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, by Mr. Bush. 3 or 6 months, they have to come back to Parliament and say, okay, this is what we're doing, what the progress on, and so on and so forth. Because I'm sure there are a number of motions that's on the shelf that's being collecting dust.
That's a valid point. That's actually a positive change in the standing orders.
Yes.
Because previously, you would have private members' motions being accepted because it's just easy to do, right? So the government might accept the motion. Yes, we will consider, and it goes on file 13, and that's a consideration.
Yeah.
Now you actually have to come back within 3 months and say what you have decided, as a government have decided to actually do with this private member's motion.
Yeah.
And with this particular motion, because there's additional immigration legislation that's coming, forward as well. This would be a good opportunity to try to incorporate it into that.
Even impacting the LCCLs as well. So that's something that the Premier had indicated, and I think, OC, we're privileged to be in a position to create opportunities for Caymanians. That is our only responsibility. At the end of the day, once we create those opportunities, it's up to you to equip yourself to make sure you take advantage of those opportunities. And that's what I was put here for, and Mr. Roy himself, and every elected member looks at it from that standpoint. And this motion is nothing more than creating opportunities for Caymanians in an area that is our most valuable asset in our resource, it's our land. And therefore, we have to understand that land is finite, which means it has an ending. And so we have to think, once it's sold and developed and commission is everything, we can't recreate that. We can't recreate that. And I personally think it should be us Caymanians that are selling our own land. And like I said on the floor of the House, we build, our forefathers and foremothers built this country. And so opportunities like that, I have to be able to create for my people. It's just that they also have to take advantage of it. And like I said on the floor of the House, you have to equip yourself. Whatever certification, professionalism, classes, the way you have to conduct yourself, it's now up to you all. We can only create it. It's therefore important that you take advantage of those creations.
And the whole idea of real estate and selling it has additional complications now in terms of anti-money laundering legislation and stuff like that. So there's a whole lot to learn. With that, we're going to take a commercial break, folks. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
Cineco's parametric insurance after hurricanes is now available for motor policies. Fixed automatic payouts cover incidental vehicle expenses like fuel, cleanup, and minor repairs. No claims, no damage required. $200 for comprehensive policies or $100 for third-party policies. Available exclusively through Cineco and included with all new motor insurance policies and upon renewal for current policies. Visit Cineco.ky today. Cineco. Keeping Cayman covered.
Did you know that you can send money transfers to financial institutions anywhere in Jamaica with JN Money?
You mean I can send money straight to my account and cut out the middleman?
Yes, that's exactly what I mean. You send your own money to your own account, giving you peace of mind that the money is in your account.
JN Money Transfers to Financial Institution is another convenient service offered by JN Money. You can have this done from any JN Money location. Deposit your money straight to your account without the hassle of asking someone to do it for you. JN Money Transfers to Financial Institutions, making life easier.
My mom Mom's a superhero. She always knows what to do when I feel icky. Yesterday, we went to West Bay Pharmacy, and they had everything she needed. Medicine, my favorite band-aids with dinosaurs, and even flavored vitamins. Mom says they keep our family healthy. I think they're magic. But don't tell anyone. I think superhero shop at West Bay Pharmacy. West Bay Pharmacy, where the superheroes shop. West Bay Pharmacy and Centennial Towers. Convenient quality care is just around the corner.
Hi everyone, this is Paulette Connolly. One of my favorite memories of Radio Cayman growing up was listening to the radio comedy Clitheroe Kid after I had completed my homework in the evening.
We present Jimmy Clitheroe as the Clitheroe Kid.
And then in 1980, after joining the staff of the station, I was one of the announcers who played the program on air for our listeners. Happy 50th anniversary, Radio Cayman.
With Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. For those of you who are just joining us in the studio with me, Deputy Speaker and Member of Parliament, Honourable Pearlina McGaw-Lumsden, and Member of Parliament representing the constituents of Red Bay, Mr. Roy Tatum. Folks, the mic is yours.
And I do want to speak about fairness regarding the motion. One of the fairness that's attributed to the motion is that people that already have a license is already going to be grandfathered in. That's not going to be taken away. It's going forward. Once it becomes law, it's going forward that permit holders are not going to be able to hold that license. So that's one of the fairness of the actual motion itself. But in addition to that, I think we have to understand we're creating, again, opportunities that it's a fair opportunities from the sales of Cayman property. And that's what the motion, ensuring Caymanians have that accessibility. And it's not anti-investment, OC. It really isn't. We're not saying you can't invest. We welcome investment. We welcome development. We welcome growth. The question is who benefits from that growth. And that's what I'm trying to do with this motion, to ensure that Caymanians benefit. And we have to understand in a society that's so small as well, or any society, when we think about Caymanians benefiting from a sector, the monies is going to remain in this country. That's an important element as well. So as much as we generate growth, we then have to take the Caymanians along with that growth to ensure that the monies remain here and they grow and we create opportunities as well. So that's the gist of the motion.
And if I don't have it in front of me now, but I also think it provided for non-Caymanian spouses of Caymanians.
Yes, RERC holders, you're right.
And residents and so on. So people, what you mentioned during the motion, which I hadn't appreciated, was in your debate, was you also have, I don't know how many, but people overseas also involved in the sale of Cayman property. I hadn't appreciated that before. And to whatever extent that is happening, that needs to cease and desist. And the individuals, yes, it's Caymanians. It's also spouses of Caymanians and residents. I would like to get to a point where there is no need for anyone to have a work permit for someone to sell Cayman Islands real estate. Firms should be looking at finding Caymanians and developing them with the relevant skills and exposure to be able to get involved with the industry. In the research that I did, I understand, and I was going to raise this in my debate, but when you get to 1 o'clock in the morning, after the individual who moved the motion, and you're looking at the time and think there's another 3 or 4 motions to go, you kind of fold your debate in half and put it to one side. But in my debate, I did note that I understand that there are a lot of firms who are majority of people in there, if not all, are Caymanians. But I don't get the impression that's all. So the firms, the real estate firms need to do, if they aren't doing a good enough job now, but make sure that they do find Cayman, put this out there as an opportunity for Caymanians, as my colleague said. It's a good opportunity to make a living and provide them with the incentive and the training to actually pull more Caymanians in. So we're not at a point where we have, there was a number given, was it 15
15, I think.
15 work permit holders.
Yeah.
God bless them. They're here helping us in our economy.
I mean,
but at
there
some
are only
point,
15 work permit holders on as real estate agents.
That's the number I recall hearing.
300 and something. We're going to double check that. Let me double check that.
Work
I
permit,
wrote it down. Work
permit holders. Yeah. Right. So I think it was a huge number, if I remember correctly. But nonetheless, whatever the number is, we need to get that point where there are always 100% Caymanian as much as possible in that industry. So
I can understand the reluctance to a certain extent, but any work permit holder, there is no legitimate expectation that work permit is going to be renewed at any point in time. And basically, the notification on the renewal basically says that there's no promise for any future renewal.
True.
I can understand persons who have been granted permanent residence with the right to work, and their right to work is associated with the real estate industry.
Yeah.
That may be a little bit more difficult to negotiate. But the same way that we are saying now to those persons who have dependents here on their work permit, that on the 1st of May of this year, that changed. And the threshold now has
4,000?
moved from 3,500 to 5,000. And we're saying basically that when your work permit application comes up for renewal and you're seeking to include your dependents, that new fee is there. So, if it can apply in that particular case, there's no reason why it couldn't apply to say that here's the date that we're no longer going to be renewing work permits for those persons in the real estate industry as well. So there should be no hesitation on that part of it. I know that the Turks and Caicos did introduce a bill and had a bill, and they have now withdrawn that bill because of certain technicalities as well. I don't believe that here in the Cayman Islands that we would be facing a similar thing. Of course, I'm not a lawyer, I'm not a legislative drafter, but from a practical standpoint,
I haven't seen, as I mentioned during the break, I haven't seen that article, but I will find it after the show and have a read of it.
Sure.
My wife, when she worked in Papua New Guinea with Air New Guinea many years ago. She had the job at Air New Guinea, but a part of a requirement for her or for her company was that there would be somebody that she could train so that within her tenure there, whatever it was, 2 years or 3 years, whatever it was, there was somebody that she could train who had suitable qualifications, but maybe not the experience, so that on her departure, there was a local individual who worked with her who would be taking over the reins when she left. That is something real estate companies need to be considering. If you have a fair number of work permit holders, you want to be fair to work permit holders as well, because they're people too. So you need to be able to say to them, you need to sort out your life. Maybe you only have another year or 2 here, but here's this young, smart Caymanian. Take him or her under your wing, and let's look at doing a good job at getting them trained up. And you will then know within a year, whenever your permit's up, you will then need to then move on. So we need to be fair to them as well. So you can't just wait for the work permit to end and they say, whoops, you're out of a job, right? Because they got families to feed and support as well. So it needs to be planned, but we need to find a way to make sure that Caymanians have the opportunities that was just mentioned.
And I think in this motion I did mention, and it's important to know this, we are a developing nation. I would say we're first class or first world at this point, to be honest. But we're a progressive nation because of the so many contributing factors in foreign labor. We can't deny that.
Exactly.
So the motion wasn't intended to diminish anybody's contribution. Let's face it, we are here because they have played a role. Whether we like it or not, that's a different story. But we have to acknowledge the role that they have played. And it's not intended to disregard anybody's value. So I want to say that and be on record, because I don't want them to think that we don't appreciate what has been given to this country. But what it is rather is just to, as the industry, like I said, OC evolves, we have to ensure that Caymanians are at the table and they're afforded greater opportunities or the same opportunities to participate and develop when it comes to real estate sold in the Cayman Islands. And that's what the motion is about as well.
And we shouldn't discount.
And we shouldn't feel bad about it either. You know, I tend to think sometimes when we're talking about Caymanians having opportunities and stuff like that, we feel bad or we feel kind of guilty. And you know what? That's Cayman kind. That's where that comes from, to be honest. But like I said, we're here to make Caymanian lives better. That's what we're put here for. Yep. We're not put here to represent any. First and foremost, our people are first. And as long as they feel like they're first, as long as they get the opportunities, as long as they're economically stable, we then win as well. And we have to look at it like that.
And people have to bear in mind that there are side benefits, not just selling property, as well, managing property
and the networking
as well.
That goes on, because if you sell me a property and I have property in Portugal and I'm leaving for a vacation, guess what's going to happen? You then have somebody that I can stay at their home. So there are a lot of benefits that happens when you actually have real estate or you're involved in real estate. People mustn't think that it's just the transaction and commission. It goes pretty far. And like you said, the managing of property as well.
And
when you become Airbnbs.
And the inside information that you have in terms of the deals that are out there. You know, you either jump on them yourself, because we have no limitation in terms of non-Caymanians' ability to purchase property in the Cayman Islands. There are no parameters around that. It's wide. The door is wide open as well. So, you know, all of those things need to be taken into consideration. We're going to take our last commercial break. Folks, please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
Did you know that Doctors Hospital provides urgent care services 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? And Doctors Hospital's urgent care physicians have access to the most advanced MRI and CT imaging in the Caribbean, providing reliable diagnostics when you need it most. When you need quality urgent care for an illness or injury, Doctors Hospital is here for you 24/7. Whether it's a migraine, chest or abdominal pain, shortness of breath, broken bones, or another urgent need, Doctors Hospital at the top of Walker's Road. Urgent care right now.
Your dream home starts with a vision, and often inspiration is at the heart of that vision. Brand Source Home Gallery's in-house designers are here to help bring your vision to life. Whether you're remodeling or building a new home, Brand Source Home Gallery is your one-stop solution. Explore their kitchen cabinets, sinks, faucets, bath fixtures, tubs, vanities, and more. Let Brand Source's designers help and inspire you with your next project. Call 623-5000 and schedule an appointment with a design expert at Brand Source Home Gallery, Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park, serving Cayman for 50 years.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
Your mornings just got a whole lot buzzier. Join me, Kathy Miller, every Tuesday and Thursday from 7:30 to 9:30 a.m. on The Buzz, Radio Cayman's morning talk show with insight, impact, and inspiration, covering business, policy, finance, health, culture, and the biggest local and global issues impacting our Cayman community, with fresh perspectives from younger generations to stories of inspiration from local entrepreneurs. Tune in and turn up Tuesday and Thursday mornings, 7:30 to 9:30 with me, Kathy Miller, on The Buzz. The Buzz.
For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. We're on the last leg of the show. Before I hand the mic back over to my panelists, I just want to invoke the names of some of our late great icons when it came to real estate in the Cayman Islands, the Selkirk Watlers of the world, the late Selkirk Watler, the late Bert Watler, the late Rex Crichton, amongst many others. And then a name that some of you may not be familiar with, not native-born Caymanian, but he was here in that time when Cayman was always welcoming, and he became a part of the Caymanian community, Mr. Ralph Colesworth. Yeah. Ralph Colesworth, as well. I just wanted to recognize. I'm sure that I've left out some names, but,
You spoke of just now. It's refreshing to hear that, to be honest. But I'll wrap up this aspect with regards to the motion. But like I said, it was a heavily debated and discussed motion. And I must say that at the end of the day, real estate sector is one sector. The principle that underpins that real estate motion goes far beyond that. Okay. And so we can't think that we are going to stop at real estate. It's a continuous journey, and it's going to continue to be a journey because there are other major industries that we have to start to look at, whether it's construction, technology, like I mentioned in my speech, financial services, tourism, other emerging sectors. We're going to have to examine and ask ourselves one fundamental question. Are Caymanians adequately prepared, trained, and positioned to participate? What is meaningful, not theirs, but creating opportunities for us as Caymanians? And that's the question that we have to ask ourselves and then start to look at other sectors that Caymanians can participate and similar motions can be passed.
Thank you. Let's segue in the time we have left. I'll go through quickly. There's two motions that I brought. One was a motion to strengthen oversight, consumer protection, and Caymanian participation in the quantity surveying and valuation profession, and one motion to advance implementation of the Residential Tenancies Act. Let me start there. The Residential Tenancies Act our Residential Tenancies Act was passed in 2009. It, as I said in my debate, the gist of that came out of work by the it's gone from the commission, that Law Reform Commission, and came out of work done by them over a period of time. And the gist of why they started looking at the issue around landlords and tenants came from what happened after Hurricane Ivan in the rental market. We had Caymanians and others feeling they were being badly treated by landlords. We also had landlords feeling that they had situations where they weren't able to move a tenant if the tenant wasn't paying. As I indicated during the debate, as an administrator of an estate, at one point in time I found myself with responsibility for an apartment owned by the deceased person whose estate I was administering. And I guess I'm too nice, whatever it is, but I found myself in a position where I had an individual not paying for months and months and months upon end, wouldn't answer a call, wouldn't answer the door, and you just could not get them to leave. And it wasn't my money. Right? This is money belonging to the state, where there's a family
and you as the
and
administrator
kids,
of the state,
and I'm
you
the
have
administrator
to
of the state.
Look out for the best interest of the state.
I've seen it. The one and only time I've ever been a landlord, I don't plan to be one again. That was so. I understand what landlords can go through. But I've also rented, and I have friends who've rented. So, and I have constituents who've rented, and I've had conversations. I've had WhatsApp messages saying, explaining to me, I've left a place in excellent condition. I can't get my deposit money back. I read a WhatsApp message from a lady, and I said to my colleagues in Parliament, this is someone that they all knew. I wouldn't call, I was going to say who it was, but I mentioned that only to say that if they knew who it was, she's not someone who's going to be destroying apartments, right, and not getting her money back. But when the minister delivered I waited for it. When the minister delivered the strategy report, a 10-year strategy report on housing, I looked through it, looking to see what was going to be done in the short term. But in terms of rentals and what was happening with that, nothing in that report spoke to anything happening before 2 to 4 years. Matter of fact, the name of the report is a 10-year strategic plan. I looked at the statement the minister spoke to from the Hansards. He did not mention in there about implementing a landlord, a Residential Tenancies Act anytime. So he didn't even mention anything at all in there about implementing it. Rents were mentioned very briefly in two areas, two different sentences. Matter of fact, I have the Hansards here. For those who can see, it's just 2 pages of a Hansard, printed, small print, yes, but that was it. And it was speaking about the need for housing and all that wonderful stuff. If I were the minister, I would have packaged in here what I plan to do for the term while I'm in. And if I was going to be doing a Residential Tenancies Act, I would have said so within such and such a time, within 4 months, I'll be bringing X, Y, Z. It wasn't there. So nothing made me think that anything was going to be happening soon. So I brought the motion, as I said during my debate, if nothing else, to at least spur the government on to getting something done sooner rather than later. The minister did rise and indicate that he thought I was bringing this too soon, that I knew that he was bringing a motion. I did not. But if by me bringing this did spur the government on to actually look at something sooner rather than later, then I've done my job. Yeah. And as I said during my debate, I can look my constituents in their eye and say I did what I needed to do and I've done my best. So it wasn't accepted. It wasn't accepted on the grounds that the government will be bringing their own motion. Mm-hmm. More power to them. Let's see what comes forward in September. I think he said he'll be bringing it. But what exists now can't continue to exist. And I was quite surprised when I did my research that the Landlord and Tenants Act, I think it's called, has, and the work done by the Law Reform Commission confirmed this, has as its roots a law that goes back to 1831. 1838. Cayman's landlord and tenant law has roots going back to 1838. That was not long after the 1831 meeting at Pedro St. James, when Caymanians of the day formed what became our first parliament. Mm-hmm. It's probably one of the early laws that they drafted. And as would be the case for things back then, it was heavily weighted towards landlords as opposed to tenants. And it remains heavily weighted towards landlords as opposed to tenants. So both landlords and tenants, I believe, are anxiously awaiting a modern 21st century act to be brought into force to govern this very important sector. Probably more people or population back then was 55,000.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it was probably more land than it was housing as well.
More exactly. So where I'm going with this, we can't. And the minister did say, did indicate that in his debate or in the statement that he made, or in the report, that the work on this started in 2023. It was strengthened in 2025. The work on the 10-year strategic plan. And then in 2026 we'll bring it. I would have hoped that if we started in 2023, that had been some work already done in terms of looking to see what we need to do to modernize the Residential Tenancies Act. If it hasn't, then as I said in my debate, take the time to look to update it. It would need to be updated. I didn't ask for it to be brought in the end of this year. Mm-hmm. I said, let's do it the end of January because I figured it needed some additional time. Christmas is not a good time to bring something in new. So if nothing else, and my bringing this has spurred the government on, I believe, acting faster, and we'll see what they bring. So.
Okay, we have about 4 minutes left. I want to give both of you an opportunity for some closing comments. So since you had the mic last, Mr. Tatum, we'll go to Ms. Pearlina first.
Thank you once again for having us. It's always a privilege to be here, believe it or not. It's what I like about, believe it or not, I'll say this. When I first got elected, it was that imposter syndrome that I actually had, which was the first time ever that I had that, because I always thought I belonged in a room no matter what. But the enormity of that came with the job itself, making sure that you do, yes, making sure you do your job, making sure you respond to constituents, which is the most important aspect of my job, making sure that you actually learning, growing, and know what you're speaking about. So initially, I got to say, it was quite intimidating to be here on Radio Cayman. And often when they say, okay, who's going to be on the radio, I am the last to say yes, to be honest. Because you know what, OC, I hate the sound of my voice. I really do. I prefer to just be behind the scenes and doing whatever I need to do to ensure that our Caymanians are benefiting. And it's just that simple for me. And I don't talk. I actually work. And that's the most important element of it. But it's always good to be here and to enjoy the dialogue that takes place on this radio. And I have to understand working is one thing, but growing from a dialogue standpoint is also important to my job. And so again, I am really grateful that I'm here. I'll continue to grow and not have this imposter syndrome. But every time it's becoming easier, and I'm grateful for your insight as well. It allows me to be a better parliamentarian, which I'm grateful for. So as we progress with the week, I wish every single Caymanian citizen and residents alike a very good and prosperous week. And thank you so much for having us.
Righty.
Thank you, sir. Always good to be here. I understand the imposter syndrome. you kind of pinch yourself, but the weight of the responsibility that we have as parliamentarians, I take very, very seriously, as does my colleagues. So I join with her in acknowledging the fact that we're here to work for our people.
Yeah.
But I also join with her in the wish she has for the wishing everybody a good week. When I'm here next time, I'll speak a bit more about the other motion that I brought, because I think it's worth speaking to, which is the motion to strengthen oversight, consumer protection, and Cayman participation in quantitative survey and evaluation profession. Bermuda has, I'll do this very quick, Bermuda has legislation in place, and it's not overly burdensome at all. They recognize a lot of what we recognize here. I think at a minimum, we need to be recognizing, putting legislation. If what we have here works, put it in legislation and mandate that if the RICS, the Royal Institute of Chartered Surveyors, will be the standard we look to have, put it in legislation. The government right now has a list of quantitative surveyors and similar that they recognize as being of the right standard, then adopt something similar in legislation. We need to at least legislate for this sector, and I'll say more about that when I come back next time. On that note, thank you very much, sir.
Okay, thank you, all of you. We want to thank our young parliamentarians as well. We want to thank all of our listeners. Yeah. Don't forget to join Mr. Charles Glidden Shallow at 12:15 for a talk today. And as usual, we ask the good Lord to continue to bless these three beautiful, wonderful Cayman Islands.
For the Record, proudly brought to you by
Brand Source Home Gallery, inspiring luxury. Doctors Hospital, peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066. Kirk Market, experience a world of choice. JN Money, from abroad to yard. And Cineco, keeping Cayman covered.
Radio station. Radio Cayman.